Today, I'm sitting down with a leader who's quietly shaping the financial future of millions of people across the emerging markets, and now officially a newly listed force on the JSC. Salvador Anglada is the CEO of Optasia, a business using AI and alternative data to unlock financial access at a scale most people still underestimate. Before Optasia, he held senior leadership roles at some of the biggest telcos and tech companies on the planet. And he's brought that global experience straight into the sector. So, I mean, what I love about Salvador is he doesn't just talk about transformation, but he's building an infrastructure for it. He's a strategist, a futurist in disguise, actually, and someone who understands that the next billion consumers are not in Silicon Valley. They're in Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Today, we're going to unpack what it actually takes to scale in emerging markets, how Optasia survived the journey to listing, and what he's learned leading teams through complexity, crisis, and massive change. Salvador, welcome to Business Unusual.
Hey, how are you?
Very good. How are you doing?
Very good, very good.
Whereabouts are you, Salvador? Are you in Johannesburg? You in
I'm in
Athens?
uh, I'm in Johannesburg today.
Okay,
Yeah,
today Johannesburg.
yeah. No, I'm gonna have also. I mean, there is this the next 3 billion. This is an event that is happening also as part of the G20 all week, and I will be. I'm a panelist also talking about financial inclusion there this afternoon. So I'm all the time with or panels or with media today.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, the way you laughed there, but I suppose it's part of the job now, right? It's like
It is.
the football managers that spend all their time in front of the camera instead of
That's
coaches.
it. Absolutely right. Is what it is. So I'm happy to do so because also it's part of telling the story. It's very important everybody to understand what we're doing. It's a big thing. You're totally right.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it is an amazing story. It's
Oh.
crazy actually, if I think about it. Um, so I mean, we've got a whole lot of questions for you. I'm sure it's you're used to the standard sort of questions and whatever, but I'm also intrigued about you personally as well and sort of your leadership approach. Um, I think that for us, what you guys are doing is definitely business unusual. It's it's really interesting. I think for a lot of people to look at things because um, who you're including and the opportunities that go with it and how you're rating people are it's really interesting. But as a leader as well, I think um, certainly what I saw is organizations that are doing things unusually. There's leaders who are doing things unusually as well. Um, and so I'd love to get sort of talk a little about you as well and your background and what you've seen that's different.
Yeah, I think yeah, this is a different project. I have to say, I've been in the different companies across my professional life, countries, industries. I spend always my life in the ICT industry, in the telco leading organizations, changing and transforming those companies, building up new revenue streams, mainly on the digital side. But in big organizations, I have to say that always you need to be sure how you lead in order to change the status quo of a company that normally have a lot of energy. Optasia is a different project. It's a project that when it came to me, I was in love. I have to say that I was in love to a point to say this is what I want to do in my next chapter without any mean. And I decided to quit what I was doing and to take the leadership of this company. And I was in love because of the company itself, but also because of the purpose. To be honest, it's the first time. Always people talk about how important is purpose, and it is. But sometimes when you ask people, "What is your purpose?" Not don't think that everybody is able to articulate that, no. And the purpose of the company or of your own purpose. And in Optasia, I'm able to link both things. I'm able to lead a company with an amazing technology that it's able to grow significantly, but at the same time have an amazing purpose. This financial inclusion. Every single day that we're providing a new credit, we are incorporating someone in the financial system. They are able to do things with that money, whatever it is. If they have a business, maybe managing their working capital, or if they need to pay the fees for the university sometimes because they are lack of liquidity at that point of time. And that's amazing because it's the first time for some of these people that they have had the opportunity to access to that. And with not many conditions, to be honest, as you know, because we don't ask for anything except we trust on data, we trust on the algorithms, we trust on AI to do that. And for me, this is fantastic. And I'm enjoying a lot, and I really, really want to drive this to the next step.
I get a feeling when you said fell in love that I feel it's part of you to fall in love with things, and if you do, you get entrapped in it. What was it that sort of sparked it? Was it that you were tired of the status quo of being where you were? Was it what was it with the organization that sort of made you fall in love?
No, I think it's about passion. No, it's about to have passion of what you do, to feel that it's exactly what it gives you the energy to move things. And it's very strong. It's something very strong for an executive, in my opinion. I mean, maybe some people do not feel like that. They prefer to play on a more conservative mode, or just keep a. But for me, this passion drives everything that I do in my life, and this is what I felt leading Optasia. Passion for my job, passion of what we do for the others, and that's why I'm saying that. And I think that the feeling could be close to be in love with someone. I would say it's not the same, of course, but this type of engagement that you feel about what you are doing, which is quite high.
And is that coming from the gut, or is that more of a logical thing? I mean, I suppose in a way, how do you validate that it's love? Is it that people tell you this probably isn't logical, isn't the right thing to do, but you're going with it anyway, or is there something else?
I promise. I can tell you something that you will not. I cannot provide names, but at the time that I was accepting this role, the opportunity to become the CEO of a major telco company in Europe also across my life at the same time. And I decided to follow the route of Optasia. And some people close to me, they were doubting that if it wasn't the right decision or not. And I was so sure about that. I have to say that everybody now, after nearly 1 year, understand very well what I'm doing, what is Optasia, what is the purpose, and they understand my decision. But I tell you that reject a big position in a big company was not fully understood by people. But it's okay. I think that's why we do things differently, as you said at the beginning. I mean, this is the way that I do things.
Yeah, and so this is the way you do things. Is there other examples in your life where, like, because this is just an example of other good decisions you've made where you followed your gut and your love and your passion? Is there other examples where you had these sort of tough, illogical things?
Well, I wouldn't say illogical because this is not illogical. It's different, but I wouldn't say it's illogical.
I mean, illogical to someone on the outside who can't see the forward steps that you can see.
Yeah, that's interesting because this is one of the abilities I have, to foresee a little bit what's going to happen. And you're right on that. We can discuss about that later. No, I mean, in my life and all the changes that I did, it has happened at a point that I believe there is the project it's over, or the project is over, or I cannot contribute anymore because my energy is over, or because the passion is over. And if I don't have that energy that drive my professional life, I will not be able to contribute the way that I want and the company deserves. So my changes always drive this point where for one reason or the other, and it could be because change on the leadership, or change on the way that the company is or maybe even because I mean the company has lost their position in the market at one point, or I believe it's gonna lose it, and then I decide to change. I always have decided that change, and it has happened 4 or 5 times in my life. Even at the beginning of my life, I mean, I started my own company, so I'm an entrepreneur as well. I started right after my degree. I'm engineering. I started my own company and I ran it for 4 years. And at one point of time, I saw that it was not gonna go to the place that I thought it was gonna go, and I was a big decision that to quit that project and to start my professional life. But I believe yeah. Some people could feel okay, Salva, you have already achieved something. Why you don't? I mean, I thought it was not the right thing. It was not gonna go to the place that I was not gonna. I was not gonna contribute, or is not gonna contribute to me that project to the level that I was expecting, and I decided to quit. And it was a great decision, although at the beginning it was difficult to swallow.
Mm. I think there's probably a lot of entrepreneurs who feel the same sort of way. Entrepreneurs not for the faint-hearted, right?
Mm.
And so what was it that you saw in business that you didn't see in entrepreneurship that would help you scale? Is it the support? Is it the
Well, being an entrepreneur is one of the most difficult things in life, huh? And I
yeah.
believe I have so much respect for them, because I mean you need to be resilient to a point that you cannot imagine. You need to sort it out all the obstacles. Things change every single day. You need to keep going, and you need to have the guts to change some status quo and to question mark a lot of things. So I believe I believe I'm better on what I'm doing right now or have done in my life than being an entrepreneur. It's what I discovered at that point of time, and you need to be honest with yourself. I mean, you can do it, but maybe you can serve better in a different position, or it can even work better for you. And I think that was a difficult process to accept that, or at least today I know that I accept that. Maybe at that point of time was more a big question mark. Should I continue? Should I give up? And well, the decision was to give up, to change, to give up at that point and to change. And I think it was right. I believe so.
And was it based on the skills that you had, do you think? Was it like, I have these innate skills and therefore I'm better suited to the corporate
Yeah.
leadership
Well,
role?
yeah. I think it's not about the corporate, because just because I passed through my entrepreneur career, I've never been a normal corporate guy. I don't like much the heavy processes. I don't follow that. I don't follow it. I'm a little bit always on the edge of the
Yeah.
things. I like things to be done. I really believe on what need to be. I think on what rather than how to. And then you need to, of course, first what I need to achieve. Then I will find how, and not necessarily the same way that the company is telling you how to do things. So, no, I believe it's more. I believe I have strong leadership capabilities. I've been able to make things happen. I know I have a understanding properly the focus on what to do. Very important what not to do, how to prioritize. But also I'm able, I believe, to create the ground and the space for people to contribute. This is a very big thing. Right people, but also the right atmosphere. They feel comfortable. People to express all what they have inside. They are not trying not nobody to be worried about anything, to feel fear about anything, and that creates a magic of people providing all what they have inside, all their potential. I mean, maximize their potential, also collaborating between them, and this is something you can do only in a leadership position. Of course, if you are building up your own company, at one point of time you will do the same. But the journey to build that, it's a different journey. It's a journey of being much more tactical. It's a journey of playing with the cards that, or with with the elements that you have in place, and to every day to invent how you're gonna continue. Which at the beginning is quite hard, and you need to have specific skills to do that, I have to say.
Geez, I really want to talk about that later. But I mean, we've started off this podcast. It's a bit unusual, and I'm sure we'll cut and edit some parts of this. But Salvador, I mean, it is unbelievable to have you on this podcast. I think, firstly, and we spoke about business unusual, but I think what you're doing at Optasia is pretty incredible. I mean, you've just listed. I think you raised 6 billion rand for a valuation of 24 billion rand. I mean, I heard somewhere it's the biggest capital raise in EMEA, I think this year.
Yeah, the biggest IPO in Africa, the biggest fintech IPO in EMEA. You are totally right. Yes, this year.
It's incredible. And I mean, if you told somebody this fintech company using AI is going to be giving small loans of a couple of dollars to different people, thousands and millions of people around the world, and it's going to be this valuation. It's quite incredible to think what you've achieved, really. I mean, how did it feel when you were blowing the horn at the JSC that day?
Well, it's amazing. I feel proud for the team for all the work that they have done during all these years. I feel grateful for the founder. I think we need to give all the credit to the founder of the company that started from scratch, and he created this amazing engine. It's like an operating system that happened across Africa that we are able now to provide more than 20,000 loans per minute, which is amazing. I mean, this is an engine that we have created. I feel that it's only the
It's
beginning of a
crazy.
new.
It's
It's crazy.
crazy.
It's crazy.
20,000
Yes,
loans a
per minute.
minute.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I think I read something, it's like 32 million loans
per
a
day.
day.
That's it.
So
It's the
in
same as
38 countries, like
22,000.
what 1
Yeah,
million per country per on average per day,
yeah.
1 million loans. You're changing a million
Mm,
families' lives.
mm, mm.
You talk about purpose, and I can't help but think I've got goosebumps now. But it's only a couple of dollars. I mean, but that means the world to someone because it's more than a loan, isn't it? It's you're believing in them. You're showing faith in them. I mean, what do you
Yeah,
see the impact of this?
well, I mean, first of all, what is amazing is that we trust on data. The people talk a lot about AI. Uh,
Yeah,
this is real AI. This is machine learning. We just use thousands of data points, and we create we create more than 100,000 features per person. We recreate the behavior of someone in order to understand what is going to be their behavior when we provide them a loan and their livelihood and the propensity to pay back. We don't have any structured data. Everything is unstructured data from different sources that allow us to create this alternative credit scoring that allowed us to trust on it and not to ask for any type of collateral, of course, or warranty or anything on what we provide. People do not pay, they do not pay, and that's all. We do not charge compound interest. We don't blacklist them. We really charge on trust on technology, which is quite unique. And you were asking me, what I was thinking when we IPO. Well, for me, it's also the beginning of a new journey because I mean, yes, what we're doing is fantastic, but I mean, we need to double, triple. That still is not enough.
Mm.
You know that there are more close to 2 billion people in the world that they are totally unbanked. They don't have access to any financial service. So what we're doing is only the top of the iceberg. I think we can do much more. So for me, I mean, putting the company, listed the company is only the beginning of a journey that should allow us to fulfill the vision of the company and the purpose, no, which is really to create a financial inclusion at the scale, which is
Yeah,
not yet there, even if it's big, as you said, it's big, but it's not enough at all.
yeah. I mean, I think I was before the interview. I was thinking about it, like the impact for me. I mean, I suppose there's all this research about giving small loans to women in, I think it was India, and the impact of that. Suddenly, their entrepreneurial journey exploded, and just that belief in humanity and people. Like, I think you're not penalizing people if they don't do it. It's very positive mindset, like behavior. And then you're saying you got
Mm.
these 100,000 points of data, but I mean, I think we know it's beyond the data. You're doing something human. You're investing in someone um, with this amount of
Life.
money in life. in life. I mean, what is it? What is the surprising thing in the data that it's taught you? Is there anything you're like counterintuitive that?
Well, we don't know. I mean, there are so many things that we get, but we never discriminate in gender. There is no factor on gender. There's no factor on age on the algorithms. It's more factor of behavior. We try to understand how people work. I mean, if they wake up early or not, if they have a balance in the wallet at the end of the month. If there are a lot of elements that are totally not intuitive, as you said, but it gives us this trying to build up this behavior of people when they are gonna have these loans. The other very interesting thing is that the people try to take care of their credit history. That's very interesting because they know we educate them a lot. We educate them. We tell them this is a loan. Yeah,
it's like you're giving them a journey. It's like a school. It feels like for me that you're educating a huge population of uneducated, financially uneducated people, and you're teaching them with small little parts, like you're playing Monopoly with them. Here's a little bit, pay it back. Here's some more, pay it back. I mean, I was thinking the impact of that. Then I was thinking the impact of, I don't know, like I was saying, an Amazon type thing. Like, what other services, solutions, what does this lead to? What other people, not just plugging in terms of helping you sell, but what can other people plug on top of your platform that could sell other good services, education?
Well, yeah, in the future, I mean, we are more on the financial service side, but I mean, we can theoretically provide credit for other services. Think about utilities in Africa, for instance. A lot of people, it's prepaid. I mean, the companies do not trust on the user, and they do not. So you pay and you use.
Yeah.
So what if we also, I mean, provide credit on that based on the behavior of people we trust? You can use it, or you can get a credit because you cannot run your house without electricity, without power, and it's essential. The same as they need I mean, we provide on airtime credit, as you know, is another one that we provide. So people cannot run out of today. You are out of connectivity. Some people, they don't even run their business. Think about that. So you need to provide that credit. They can continue and they will pay back when they are able to do so. So yeah, in those markets, financial is not only about cash loans. It could be also, as I said, about other type of service, and utilities could be a very good example. And the platform, of course, I mean, we can think about other services in the future. To be honest, we are so focused on what we're doing. It's so big what we need to do that we don't want to diverse much of our vision and our focus. But yes, I believe there are additional opportunities that we can plug in the platform.
Yeah. I mean, I read a lot of Warren Buffett and the power of compound interest. And I think about Africa and even South Africa, the high rate of interest. And I think we're going to get a correction, or we got a rating upgrade by S&P. And I think to myself, is what you're doing giving us validating evidence of when you're loaning that the risk of credit is going to come down, and therefore actually it creates opportunities for the whole of Africa now to see a communal behavioral improvement in actually. There's evidence to show that we can reduce interest rates to African countries.
Well, that's a different topic. Of course, I mean, this is more about the big macroeconomy, which I mean, it's about, I mean, the balance of the flows of the income and the spends of the different countries. I mean, that need to happen responsibly. But yes, I think there is a need of invest in Africa, because you need the rails, you need the infrastructure to make things happen. I mean, we create our own rails here. Well, we use our rail. One of the big things that Optasia is doing is the partnership model. That's very, very important. You cannot do what we are doing alone. You cannot trying to reach all these customers one by one. You need to do it through these partnerships. And I think the ecosystem that we created, I mean, first of all, partnering with we call distribution partners, those are the ones that have access to customers and allow us to use the data. Very, very important. The service will not exist without them, and because they are reaching mobile operators or retailers or digital wallets are behind that, and they are the ones that are having the daily activity with these customers. So what we're doing is use that data, analyze the data, and provide the service through them. The same, maybe it's different. Banks are also part of the ecosystem because at the end we are providing a loan, and a loan is a banking service, and you cannot provide a loan. You need to be someone need to put that loan in their balance sheet, and you need to get approval from the central bank because there are regulations behind all this. I mean, don't think that. We are doing everything inside which is very unique because it's inside the ecosystem, the process, the frame that exists today, and that was very unique because you realize that, I mean, when you join forces, some people say this is about AI. No, yes, of course, it's about data, it's about AI, it's about technology, but it's also about partnership, and it's also about putting together the different pieces, and this is what it creates magic and allowed us to scale so fast. It's a massive a transformational purpose, the one that we're talking about. It's something that allowed us to go and to grow exponentially.
Yeah, we had, I don't know if you read the book Exponential Organizations by Salim Ismail, but he came and spoke at one of our events a couple of years ago.
I'm laughing because, I mean, is one of the books that, yeah, absolutely. I wrote it some years ago, and I have it as my as a reference book because you understand what Optasia is doing exactly is what Salim is explaining there. It's exactly that. This is massive transformational purpose. This idea of trying not to play with scarcity, but with abundance in data, abundance in customers that, I mean, the distribution partner brings, abundance in the way that you handle a platform that allow you to scale heavily. It's, I mean, I think it's the perfect example. I think I should talk with Salim and say you should include Optasia as part of this book because it's you're right, and I think it's a reference for me. I was even in Singularity. He was the founder of Singularity University in California. You know that, yeah. I was there 6 years ago.
Yeah,
and because at that point of time I was trying to understand all these new companies, how they were doing comparing with the traditional brick and mortar. And it was a reference for me.
Yeah, we when we first launched Africa Tech Week, me and a guy called Kevin, we read the book and we sort of were in awe of Salim, and then we invited him to come, and he actually came to South Africa to spend a couple of days here with us, and it was amazing. I mean, he's a great speaker, but yeah, I can't help but think at the time. I remember it's 2019, just before COVID. And I remember looking around at some restaurants thinking, you guys don't know what's coming. And I suppose one of the questions I wanted to ask you, you're working with these banks and you've got these partnerships, is that if you were running a corporate or a bank, what would you do now to make sure that they're thriving in the next couple of years? What would be your advice to a corporate or
to
bank?
The banks?
Yeah.
To work with Optasia.
but let's say you're running one of them. One of them.
No, I think I mean the banks there are two banks. The banks are very good on the high end of the pyramid. They are the traditional way of capture the wealthy people and offer them a lot of service, and they do that very well. But also they are it's very expensive to serve those customers. You see the cost to serve is high. But when they look at the low end of the pyramid, which is what we do, they don't know how to do it. Micro credits, even imagine that they need to provide a $10 credit to someone. The cost of open that credit will be $150. So they are not understanding that part of the market. So they need to look at it, and they need to look at it. They can do it different ways, but they should look at it because, and they can do it, I mean, through companies like us, or they can even try to do it. So one of the things that they are not able to do is to run this algorithm. They don't have this data-driven mentality. They are more traditional. They ask you for your credit, your salary certificate, and they give you a loan. But these people are in the informal economy. They don't have a salary certificate. Come on, they survive. So, but also that's why there are these new banks that are very interesting, and they need to be careful. I mean, you have Revolut in Europe, By the way, they are now coming to South Africa.
Coming here. Yeah.
That's it. You have new banking.
I've got Harry Faree on the podcast on Monday next week.
Okay.
And it's again, what they did was amazing. But now there's organizations like Revolut who are changing things up again. Time Bank.
Time Bank is very interesting. New bank in Brazil, it's also quite interesting. So I believe that the banks need to understand that those banks are going to come and they do not react. They will, because those banks started on the low end, but don't think that they will not try to go at the end also to the part of the pyramid, because the customer experience, the user experience, the way that they provide the clarity, the way they provide the services, people love it, and people, maybe the low income people take the service at the beginning, but these people will grow in the future, and they will continue to be loyal to this bank. So I think they need to observe. Either they learn, either they partner with companies like us, either to build up, a new subsidiary only devoted to this. But they should think that this market exists, that they cannot ignore this market. They should not. They can, but they should not.
They should get Salim in and read his book. Exponential Organization.
We can give it to all of them.
Give it to all of them. I did a course with them as well. It's quite good, actually. But I think that one thing in life I've realized is that you can read a book. And there's a very good book I've read before, which is, you can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a conference. And I think the theory there is that there's some coaching and there's a practice that needs to take place for organizations to learn and whatever. And you talked about lowering fear. I mean, how do business people, how do they bring in this different culture that possibly we're not used to? We're taught to, I don't know, have controls and rules and those sorts of things. How do you eliminate fear from your people in the organization?
I think you need to create, as I said before, you need to create a playground for that. I mean, people need to feel safe, and they need to feel that there is no risk for them to make a mistake if they do things thoroughly. And I believe this is a culture of contributing and more thinking about the output and not the consequence of the things that they do. We need to be focused always on the output. We need to be open on do things differently. We need to create a culture of try and fail. If sometimes, you fail until you are able to achieve what you are looking for. You need to know about technology. That's important. The differences you need to get the right people. This is very important. I'm not. I'm the coacher. I'm the one that leads the organization. I'm where they orchestrate. But you need to have the right people inside the organization, and that means that the new generations, they digital savvy. They understand very well. Is a different language. I think you will not be able to build this type of organizations with with the old generation only. The good mix is the right one, but definitely because also you need sometimes also the experience of some people to drive at the same time that you are building, drive some light processes that allow you to continue growing. When you are in 38 countries, when you have so many services, when you have so many regulations around, you need also the expertise of all the type of people. At the beginning, everything is about technology, but I'm sure if you ask the Revolut CEO on next Monday how many people they have in compliance and regulation, I'm sure it's going to be big, because of course you cannot live your life alone of this. So the good mix is the right thing, but definitely, when you build technology, when you build, the new customer experience and the new platforms, you need very savvy technical people to do so. It's absolutely essential to have that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of, I don't know, unique questions I'm hoping for you. So what is one truth about scaling a fintech in emerging markets that almost everyone disagrees with you on?
Everyone disagree?
Yeah, with you. What's the one thing about building it? Because your main base is Athens, and you've listed in Johannesburg, and everybody says that there's no credit in Africa, or the credit's in America or Europe. But you've listed here.
Ah,
But I don't know. So what is one truth about scaling a fintech in emerging markets that almost everyone disagrees with you on?
yeah, but you know what? I think was one of the best decisions we have done and made. I mean, we are operating in Africa, and we have been listed in Africa. I mean, it's not this is not a emotional decision as you can imagine. I mean, this is not the same as myself. I mean, running the company. This is a very thorough process. And maybe people underestimate the power of Johannesburg Stock Exchange, and maybe we need to be, and the South African people need to be more proud of the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And I hope that, I mean, what we have done will be an example of other companies to follow. But the reality is that Johannesburg is, I mean, it's one of the leading stock exchange in emerging markets, and the size is quite big. I mean, if you compare with Europe, the same size maybe as Madrid or Paris Stock Exchange, I don't think it's a big market. Second, it's a market very well regulated, have a very good governance practices that give you a lot of confidence on what you're doing. You are really, I think, is in the Champion League. Maybe it's not Real Madrid, or it's not Liverpool,
Liverpool?
but it's in the
Yes, I like that.
no. That's it. It's not the Liverpool, but it definitely is in the champion, and it's important to understand they are playing, and that being demonstrated by two things. I mean, when we ask, and we ask a lot potential investors, and not only South African investors, but international investors, with what we all the time that we just talk about our story and and Optasia across. I mean, you can imagine how many meetings I have had with investors. But better, you cannot imagine, better to say, because it has been a lot. And yeah, we tested, and you see that it's a market that is well recognized. And if you have a good company and you have a good story, they will follow you. And they wanted to be sure also that we do not divide the liquidity, because one option could have been to be in two markets. Some people are, dual listing companies, and it was not the option. The option is to stay in one, to have the right liquidity, and to be sure that the international investors were going to buy in. And they did. I have to tell you, I mean, we were oversubscribed several times, big
Well
time,
done.
I have to say.
Well done.
And a very important proportion of this oversubscription comes from very reputable international investors. So I
Yeah.
hope that will help.
Yeah.
And I think
How
it
do you
was the right decision. Yeah.
how do you think because everybody, they're looking for one of three things really, looking for access to markets, access to capital, access to people, connections. What do you think played in your favor in terms of getting access to this sort of capital and trust? Is there anything you think there was a tipping point you thought, wow, actually we're winning the day here? And there was a story behind that.
No, what I think is that the story is even better than we thought. I have to say. Yeah, once we made the decision, when we open up the story to the South African market and investors and the community, we have seen a big support on what we're doing. And I think the repercussion is huge across the markets that, I mean, we are interested on, because we are interested in emerging markets. We are interested in Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa, North of Africa. We are interested in Asia. And what we see is that, I mean, the repercussion and the impact that we are having, it was higher and bigger than the one that we forecast. It's the one that I can tell you, and that means people know what is Optasia, people know what we're doing, people know now what is our purpose, and I'm sure that, I mean, and we are very well supported by national or domestic and international investors that they want to be with us in the long run. It's not about because one of the things that allow you when you are oversubscribed so much is that you can pick up the investor that you want to have in your table, and that's very important.
Yeah, I can't help but think, like, is it the M-Pesa story? Is it that the South African investment community understands low income loans, the low income community, and the opportunity that's created by that with airtime and those things? So,
well, the South Africans, they know very well the airtime because it's been quite popular here in the airtime credit. But also, you're right, they know the story about M-Pesa, which is one of the pioneers, and They know what they're doing and what does it mean, these microcredits. They know also, the story of MTN and Momo, what they are doing. Maybe it's not so. You see what they're doing in Ghana or in Uganda or in Benin. It's amazing. MTN and Momo, they are really building up parallel. They have invented or at least follow on M-Pesa on the mobile wallet and the mobile money. And today, I think they have more than 60 million customers across the different geographies they operate, which is quite fantastic and continue growing. So it's the whole ecosystem. The mobile money here is the new banking system for these type of countries, and I think we need to protect. And some of them are coming from South Africa. MTN is a proud South African company, Vodacom, with their VodaPay and and M-Pesa. It's also a South African company. Think about that. They are the ones behind what is happening in other countries within the Sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah, it's incredible. So, we spoke a little bit earlier about leadership, and I think back to that first day that they approached you to get involved in Optasia. How did that unfold? How did that happen?
When they approached me, you say how it happens.
Yeah. What happened when they approached you?
What happened? No, it happened because it came to me. The opportunity. I was wow. That's interesting. Let me learn more about that. What happened, and then, of course, we started engaging with different people, with the board, the different members of the board, the different investors, also with the founder, and conversations happened, and you realize that the chemistry was there in between us. The understanding from their side what they were looking for, and from my side what I was looking for is a good match, and that happened from the beginning. It was a long process, I have to say. It didn't come, but I think but the match was at the beginning, and then of course the whole process went through, and we will end up in what it is today. But I believe this syntony or this synchronization need to happen in a company like this. If not, it will not work. I tell you, it will not work, because someone from outside just to jump in on something that it was running. If you don't have this synchronization, it will not happen.
You're obviously an exceptional leader, and I wonder in different sort of questions, what do you look for if you're looking for the next leader like you, or what do you think your playbook for leadership is that people could learn from?
From my side, you mean?
Yeah.
People, you mean in the company here or
company or anywhere? I think that what you're doing as a company is definitely business unusual, and I think that it's tribute to the work that you as a company have done. That's different, the amount of funding you received, but for someone to lead that, I wonder what sort of leadership attributes or playbook that you bring about that other people can learn from. So maybe some actionable insights.
Well, I don't think. Everybody has their own style. I don't think. Of course, there are some frame that or some attributes that you can learn from, but everybody has their own strengths. In my case, I think I mentioned a little bit already. I believe what is important for me is 2 or 3 things. One is be always focused, even if you need to have a vision. You need to know where you go, and you need to try to stick to that. And that don't mean that you need to be flexible, because you need to pivot, but you need to stick to things. You cannot change every single day, and it's very important to give this clarity to your team. Clarity is essential in business today. And I really value that, and I think I apply clear clarity where we go, what we're doing, why we're here, and then you need to repeat that, and people need to feel that they understand, and if they understand, they are able to execute. The other very important thing for me is to embrace collaboration. This is like a football team. yeah, maybe you can have stars and they can play, but you see that the good coaches, if you look at, I like the Spanish football, so we have Xavi
I was
Alonso
hoping you were
now.
going to say you're Liverpool. I was hoping you were going to say you're
Well,
Liverpool.
also, of course, I mean, Liverpool, no, but it's a very good example, Liverpool again, but also Real Madrid.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm supporting Real Madrid,
Xavi,
but also, I
Xavi.
mean, Xavi is doing a fantastic, I mean, if you see, and you have Mbappe there, but yeah, it's about collaboration. It's about create the framework, everybody to, when you see the team working together, is marvelous. You see what Guardiola were able to do, even if it's Manchester City. It's
Yeah,
amazing. And I think this is something that I try to apply in
yeah,
my team. Sometimes I accept. I mean, of course, you need to change pieces. You need to get sometimes some new people because there are some areas that you need to reinforce. But in general, you realize when you have a good people and you give the confidence and you give the trust and you remove the fear that we were
yeah.
talking about, that you are surprised what people are able to do. And when you embrace collaboration among them, it's a fantastic exercise. And I love that in the company that I like, because that fuel the transformation, the innovation, the move forward, and created this motion, always being in motion, doing new things for the company. And that's
Mm.
something that I've been applying the different companies I've been, and always, of course, I think you try to do it better, because you learn in the process, and you try to apply this learning on your day-to-day activity.
I mean, is there a mistake that you made that cost you dearly, but that taught you a lesson you'll never forget?
You mean things that I did and that I will not do it
Mm.
again?
That taught you a lesson, but it cost you dearly, but it taught you a lesson that you never forgotten.
Wow. I suppose they're full of things that are happening. One of the things, definitely, you need to be open and to listen a lot. I mean, sometimes
Mm.
you feel that you know, sometimes you feel that you know everything, and you miss a lot. You miss a lot. I mean, listening other people, your people, and other people. It's essential, because that allows you to understand much better what you're doing and enrich what you're doing. And I feel it's normal sometimes, I mean, just not to listen and to feel that you know everything. And I realize that this is not the case. But it's a lesson. I think you need to make some mistakes, and you need to be humble enough just to recognize that. But it's very important. I think I'm listening more and more as I go. And I
Yeah.
think when I was younger, I was talking more and listening less. I have to say. I have to say.
I love Aristotle. He questions everything you think you know for sure, and because what
I
we know
couldn't.
we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know. We
We
know that
don't
that's
know.
actually
It's one of the
that's
things,
it.
isn't it? There's so many people I'd imagine that one day want to list their company or be part of a listing or has done a listing. Um, when the stock ticker lit up, what was the first emotion you felt and why?
Well, no, when you see that it's done and you see that the first movement of the stock is to go up, as you said, and even that day the whole market was going down. No, you felt that it's done. I mean, it's done. You felt proud for your people, as I said, the founder, the people that has been there so much time, and then you feel that it's the beginning of a for me, it's the beginning of a chapter. Now um, we have investors that they trust on us, and we need to make them feel not only proud of the activity that we do, but profitably proud. I mean, this combination is about both things, and I believe we can do it. I think we can multiply. I mean, hopefully the company we can double the business in the next 2 to 3 years, and that means number of users, and that means countries, and that means the credit that we provide to the market, and that hopefully will be reflected in the stock price, and the people that are investing on us, they are supporting a fantastic company. So this is what I feel, and I have a big responsibility. Not before I have it, but it was more inside. It's our team, it's our customers, is what
Mm,
we're doing. Now we added a new layer, which is the public investors, the
mm,
investors that they are, and the people that are following us. And it's a big responsibility, the one that we have in front of us.
mm. If Salim was doing a chapter on Optasia in his new book, because he re-released Exponential Organizations, where he sold about 1,000 of them. What would people learn from that chapter in Exponential Organizations on Optasia?
I think they will learn this a very good example of massive transformation purpose, because what we're doing is create financial inclusion at the scale. And at the scale means, I mean, we're touching a big market and we're solving a problem for big people. And this is the same that Google did it one day, or even Amazon. I mean, we're trying to sort it out this at massive, and that's a fantastic example. The other thing that I think he will highlight is the intelligent usage of the resources that you have at your disposal, that rather than invent the wheel, how you can use customers that today exist, data that it's available, resources, financial resources that it's available. I mean, if you think about Airbnb or Uber, remember, I mean, now everybody talks about that, but at that point, Uber were using the cars that exist, or Airbnb, the apartments and the houses that were not being used. One way or the other, we're trying to do the same. We're using the resources in order to create partnerships that allowed us to put all the pieces together and not invent the wheel. So he will highlight that, of course, the usage of technology, because I mean, this is AI in motion. Everybody talks about AI. This is not Gen AI, and this is very important people to understand. This is machine learning. This is algorithms we use. I mean, all this amount of data is, I mean, so many millions of data registers that, I mean, we process in a way to create value out of that. But I mean, we are building up a platform that allowed us to scale to every single country in the world, and also it's allowing us to use AI at the scale. So I mean, I think we should talk with him and tell him that he should.
I'm going to. I know him well, and I know
a,
Kevin, who works with him very well, and I'll send him on this podcast. But because Kevin will be keen to get you involved. But I mean, is it, you know, if I talk to you now, from the beginning until now, and I was thinking to myself as we're talking, you know, did you ever consider yourself like the Airbnb financial inclusion? And then I started to think, as I was asking the question to myself, did you ever think that people will start saying, I'm the Optasia of whatever industry?
Oh, that would be an honor. Come on. I mean,
how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we need we still, there is a way to go, but why not? I mean, maybe in 3 to 5 years we can build up. I mean, if we have presence, double the number of countries and double the number of users, why not? You are right that it could be definitely in fintech. In fintech, we are a good example. I mean, there are some others, of course, but we could be a good example of building up a massive business. I mean, using resources that exist in the market. You are totally right.
What would need to be true for that to happen?
I think it's the scale. I think it's we need to be more. I think the presence in more countries. The number of today we have 130 million unique users. I think we need to go to 300 million or 400 million. This is what we need to do.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean, once it happens, it's crazy, but it's doable. I tell you, it's doable. This is the vision that we have. This is what we want to achieve. So, So once that happens, I believe, and also, of course, we need to see the stock price going up. That's also important. No, because it gives also credibility. You know, I mean, sometimes it's like that. I mean, you did the story. I mean, it's been listed. How it's going to be the track record. All this create the whole story. And then the purpose. When you have the 3-4 things, I mean, you maybe in 3-4 years we can have another chat with you, and we can review this conversation and see where we are at that point.
Yeah. So I mean, there's 2 probably things I want to talk about next. One is this partnership, to be in 38 countries, as you said, different jurisdictions with different partners. I mean, do you have a playbook of successful partnerships? And what would that be for other organizations? Because I agree with you. I think the power of partnering, it's the same with collaboration, in partnering internally, partnering externally, partnering with so-called competitors. I mean, how did you get it so right? What is your sort of playbook for partnerships that people can learn from?
First of all, it's a learning process, as you can imagine. but mainly it's the belief on the win-win situation. It's about being fair on what everybody's contributing and how much we can distribute that contribution among the different people. And this is very, very critical. So there are 2 points here. One is, who is the right partner? Of course, need to be the one that has that presence in the market. We need to access to customers, we need to access to data, we need to have a way to diverse and collect, and the presence need to be there. Even if it's a fantastic partner, but it's small, it will not have the impact. So, I mean, big presence, it's important, but then to build up the model in a way that everybody feels that it's absolutely fair, because and that's, I think this is the playbook that you are referring. I think we are being able to build that on time, and even we are improving as we speak, because I mean there are new things that are evolving that allow us to enhance and improve. But this way of balancing the benefits of everybody, we create bridges. We are not a disruptor, because we are not disrupting. I mean, we are creating a new market, and we are creating a new market, creating bridges with the people that allowed us to build up the whole ecosystem. And yes, I think we have done it in a way that today we are master on that. The other thing that we are master is on deploying. I mean, just to deploy all this. I mean, because we need to deploy. Yes, our platform is cloud-based, it's microservice, it's quite modern, but we need to deploy locally, because the data that we use, we cannot move from the place. I mean, the customer protection and the data privacy, it's essential on all what we do. We anonymize the data, we use it, we extract the value, but we do not move and own that specific data, and that obliges us to deploy in every single market, which is quite a heavy exercise. That also we are mastering on that. We are able to deploy around 15 new deployments, and if you think about it, each of them maybe with X millions of customers, this is why we are going to continue scaling up. I mean, the number of users on the platform.
It's freaking exciting, eh? It's really exciting. So we've got the G20 happening and the B20, and you're speaking later today, some exciting platforms. And you got, I suppose, a lot of focus from America, where they're not really coming to South Africa. But then you've got successes that you're having. I mean, what's your thoughts on South Africa and Africa? What's your thoughts on the future for the horizons?
Well, I think, I mean, for South Africa, I believe definitely is the one leading all what is happening in Africa, and I think it's been recognized like that. It's a totally different. I mean, the country is leading in most of the parameters and statistics, and I think they need to continue influencing all what is happening across sub-Saharan Africa, and to represent sub-Saharan Africa one way to the other. The companies here are big enough, they have the power, they could have access to capital. In the banking system is quite strong, the telecom system. Now the energy is becoming better. Hopefully they will be able to transform the way that it's happening. Natural resources. I mean, South Africa is an amazing country, and they need to lead, and they need to make a step forward in representing all what is happening here. And in fintech specifically, I think that they are going to be the companies that, I mean, you have others. I mean, you have in Nigeria, you have something in North Africa with Egypt, but I would say that I believe that, I mean, most of the development are going to happen from South African companies, and I believe some of the companies coming from outside will come through South Africa. We were talking about Revolut or New Bank. It will happen through here, and I think that they need to lead on the financial inclusion space in the Sub-Saharan Africa space.
Yeah, it was unreal talking to you. It's very exciting what you're doing. I feel like it's one of those Tesla moments. If you don't invest in Optasia, you're going to be kicking yourself later. Or Capitec, what do they say? Like, I think went up 10,000% from its first listing. It kind of got the essence of the feeling of that, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. It's quite exciting, the opportunity that is unheld with the group. So we're wishing you the best of luck and hoping your stock price starts showing those gains. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ralph. It was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you. Take care and see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.